Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Christian comprehensive history video. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I am so looking forward to this that I kind of just want to get started. But if you need a little bit of catching up, here's what happened 3 weeks ago in part 52. Chris started off the video by, attacking this teacher who tried to do a good thing and try to show her kids how fast, messages of kindness spread. Chris thought this was a really dumb idea and then ended the video off by basically his message of wanting to assassinate Donald Trump lead to many political YouTubers, including a former Grand Wizard, also known as a white supremacist and former leader of the Ku Klux Klan, start to retweet and talk about Chris's, death threats, which can be held as accountable of treason. And Chris, you managed to blow it out of the water there. You managed to give everyone a great reason not only to prove your theory wrong, that people like you can easily get out of control when you say something like that on the internet, but also that somehow you managing not to get yourself arrested is, I think, absolutely... I used to kind of there would be parts earlier in the series where I would sympathize with Chris, but I feel like my patience is very, very slow, very quickly starting to run out with Chris. And I've got a sneaking suspicion tonight is going to be no different, but let's find out. So, part 53 in 3, 2, 1, and...
What made her this way?
It's also kind of astonishing we're still in the year 2016. We've spent nearly 5 previous parts in this year. That's kind of crazy, but 2009 I think had at least 16 10 or 11 parts, I think.
What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Christian.
I'm slightly scared, but let's find out. Also, Sorbet, because I think I might know what's going to be happening next. Part 53. Or part...
On November 15th, 2016, Christine made a short update video letting her observers know that she had been banned from posting on the social media site Facebook for 1 week, possibly because of the many death threats she had written concerning President-elect Donald Trump.
Because of Facebook giving me the removing post and blocking me from posting again, it's at this time lasting for less than a day or two has passed, so it's less than 1 week now. But anyway, in the meantime, I will be posting onto my Twitter during the days.
First of all, one, yes, the mind is a blank is the thing he put in the background. Secondly, do you really think Chris looks like he understands where he went wrong? Because I really, really don't.
If and when I am unable to post on my Facebook, so please do pay attention to those tweets. Thank you. Have a good day.
In the video's aftermath, she went to Twitter to link to her 2016 Christmas wish list of items that was originally posted on Facebook. Chris wrote that people wanting to buy any presents for her should not wait for Christmas to do so, and send them to her as soon as they could. She then shared a screenshot of a custom character created in the game Skylanders, meant to represent herself, and then added the chance to 3D print her character for $50 as another item on her wish list. On November 16th, she tweeted a picture of her custom-created Skylanders character, 4chanonymous, which to her was a representation of the real internet troll and cyberbully mascot. On the 20th, Chris wrote a long thread of tweets addressing her feelings regarding President-elect Donald Trump.
Okay, what do you suspect Chris is going to say? I think I already know what he might say, because if he didn't atone from Or if he didn't learn before, then what makes you think he's going to learn now? Although, I'm surprised this image of Trump has not been made into a meme, in all honesty.
Hashtag Donald Trump. Hashtag not my president. I have given my issues and feelings of Trump some thought. They are justified between all of his.
Okay, they are justified, so no, Chris has not learned anything from this. Chris still feels as if, like, ordering people to, take a sniper rifle and shoot former President Trump is not at all a very problematic issue on grounds of treason and distributing death threats. Good job, Chris. I told you my patience was running out, and it's very, very close. It really is.
And actions stated and acted during the 3 debates. I still feel strongly from those that he is never qualified to run this, our country. He is a hot-headed, impulsive, orange-faced, money-grubbing, double-dealing, immigrant and race offensive, and most offensive to us in the LGBTQ communities, regardless of his transgender bathroom choice statement from before any of the debates. He offends me greatly. As much as I would like to choose to be rednecked and stubborn enough to plead complete ignorance and utter denial of him and Pence not only on the verge of taking office, there are still too many damn visuals about the bastards that plain further frustrate and upset me. I still sincerely want Trump and Pence to not take office and give the role of president with most civil grace to Hillary Clinton. And since that is most bloody unlikely of Trump ever, I'm still most pained to continue having to pray for Trump's and Pence's deaths.
Chris, listen to me very, very carefully, because I'm going to say this right now. I am not listen, despite the fact that I'm from the UK, despite the fact that I have really no say whatsoever in, who people decide to vote for, because obviously I can't vote in the US, let me make this very, very easy for you to understand, just so you understand this, Chris. Please listen to me. You want to know what I'm going to say to you, Chris? It's very, very easy. If you saw how much you promoting death threats got you into trouble to the point of nearly getting arrested, I honestly hope somebody pointed it out to Chris that he could get arrested. Why does Chris suddenly feel as if, like, him still wishing for Pence and Trump to die is in any way going to resolve anything? In the span of a few days, Chris has shown he still doesn't say anything at all about, what Trump's stance on, economy are, on business or anything like that. It's just about things that concern him. That's what he gets involved into. He isn't concerned about anything else apart from his immediate interest, which is vanity. It's pure vanity. So,
to happen before January 2017 by someone else's hands or illness. Trump is the most offensive, most insufferable, and is of so many typical offensive male stereotypes. He probably was born with 2 damned Y chromosomes.
And now you're gonna try and call him retarded. Chris, I hope to God somebody digs this up and tries to get you arrested. I'm serious. You can't go around saying stuff like that. That's terrible. You know how upset I got when you said you were encouraging people to cut open their own taints? You know how upset that made me feel? You really want to know, Chris? I'll be honest, because I was considering whether or not I should go onto the Kiwi Farms and just distribute a list about whether or not I should be trolling Chris or not. Because I cannot stand some of Chris's more insane ramblings like the next guy, but some of these things are just, they need actual punishment. Chris needs actual punishment. He needs to spend time in prison just so he knows that actions have consequences. His parents never taught him this, and I don't particularly think society is pushing this too hard, if you ask me.
Instead of the usual XY pair, and regardless of any redeeming media about him, counting the transgender restroom topic, versus everything else that piles against him, including...
Like what, Chris? What do you mean by everything else? Please elaborate.
Every word and action of his from the debates, and especially counting his every verbal and physical abuse to women. Everywhere, Trump offends me greatest. A lot of people agree with me on that. And there is nothing, nor any amount of time or whatever else, that would make it.
You know, Chris, again, I'm just going to say this again. I'm not denying that Trump had some very shady history with women. However, I'm just going to say this, Chris. If you're going to go around throwing accusations like that, then you better have some very strong evidence. It's not enough just to say that Trump is a pervert. You've got to actually prove this. Otherwise, if you imagine going to court and saying that this man is a pervert, how do you know that? Because I heard it from somebody else. I have no evidence, no proof. I have never even met this man before. What's anybody gonna think? You'll be shown the door. Or if not, turned in for insults, and you could have done damage to this other person.
It's the cold day in the Earth's core to ever make me have even a remote inkling of a mystery wrapped in a riddle inside an enigma of any change of feeling or heart of mine about Trump. Ever. And I know Pence is just as much anti-LGBTQ and everything else that Trump is. So my feelings are the same.
Consider what would happen, do you suppose, if Chris never became trans? Do you reckon he would have anything to say about this? In fact, he'll probably be saying, can we encourage, Pence and Trump to make that vaccine to eradicate all homosexuals then? It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Same with that. Rat bastard as well, very much. Trump and Pence either step down and let Hillary and Kane take office as just and redeeming graces, or take 24/7 prayers of death from the lot of us until when you both do before next January by the hand of fate, God, someone else, science, illness, or whatever else. You both really piss us all off. On November 21st, the Chandler's page.
You know what, guys? We are 12 minutes into this whole video, and we're only 5 minutes into this one. I cannot even believe how much there is, how much I've got to say about this. I'm genuinely... I've said this before. Chris is, friggin' ignorance and arrogance is nothing short of fascinating and appalling. And this is where it gets worse. I'm just going to take this back 5 seconds.
Piss us all off. On November 21st, the Chandlers paid $616.52 in property taxes for their home. Shortly after, Christine uploaded a short YouTube video asking for monetary donations.
Oh yeah, this is...
Our mortgage company's biting our butts once again.
You mean
hopefully we'll be able to scrounge up the money locally, but we sure could use a lot more help. So, I am very thankful for all the kind donations that I have received from y'all within the past year and greater. More than a year. Long time. Well, a few years. But we really could use some more help now. So, just what you can.
Okay, by the time Chris finishes this video, how much do you guys want to guess that he's immediately going to buy something stupid? More Legos. That's what I think he's going to do. Let's wait and see.
And send it to me via PayPal. Please. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
In response, Kiwi Farms member Philosophy Phil sent her a donation of 1 penny, about which Chris complained in a tweet, asking for donations of $10 or more instead of a.
Oh, okay. I thank you, Phil. Thank you. I'm doing that again. That's too funny.
Kiwi Farms member Philosophy Phil sent her a donation of 1 penny, about which Chris complained in a tweet, asking for donations of $10.
Oh God, maybe Clyde Cash was the one who sent that.
$10 or more instead of a penny. On November 22nd, Christine gleefully announced that her week-long ban from Facebook had ended. On that same day, she wrote a lengthy post declaring that skirts and dresses were a more comfortable attire than pants, and that they also served better to hide the pelvic and groin region. This would also serve to block perverts from gazing at the groin regions of women who wore pants. which she felt were too revealing and allowed perverts to imagine what women looked like under.
You know, perverts. There are more parts of a human body than just their crotches that perverts look at. Chris, did you not think about that? Unless, of course, it actually says anything about here. No, it's all just pants. It's nothing to do with bras or, you know, breasts or anything like that.
Underneath. 2 days later, Chris shared the food she was preparing for Thanksgiving, turkey ham, and advertised the cooking utensil she used, the spatula spreader made by Cutco, which was at the time over 10 years old, likely meaning that this was one of the unsold items received during his short stint as a salesman for the company in 2003.
Oh.
Also over Thanksgiving, Christine uploaded a gameplay video titled Quick vs. Coass, featuring Christine W. Chandler fighting against the villainous Super Chaos in the game Skylanders. Chris meant for the video to act as an advertisement for her custom-made character, which could then be produced as a collectible card, t-shirt, or a 3D printed figurine by the makers of Skylanders. She felt that this could be a way to produce Chris-Chan-related merchandise, using donations from fans to pay for the merchandise production and then selling them to the fans for a profit, with an autograph costing an additional $20. Later again, she made a Facebook post addressing the trolls. Feeling off. Ugh. Once again, I'm feeling off. Feeling dizzy, mentally here and there. Feeling like I am jumping in 3 directions simultaneously. Taking a rest right now. I tell everyone online something, especially the internet trolls. If you haters had not reported my Sonichu comic books on Lulu last December, I seriously would be maintaining the creating groove I had before that major mishap. Since that happened, it has left a huge scar on me emotionally and mentally. Think about that for a while, you jerks. Ugh, I'm a erech. On November 26th, Christine notified her Facebook readers that her mother had slipped and fallen, but her fall was broken by some household items and was ultimately not harmed. She later wrote a post concerning an episode of the animated series Teen Titans Go, which reflected that a fan base can make someone feel better. Chris could not personally appreciate that sentiment, since she had been fooled and trolled so many times, to the point that she cannot accept compliments as genuine.
Okay, well, with that being said, then don't be surprised if nobody pays you compliments ever again, Chris. You just said it right there. Anybody who was ever a fan of you, you will not repay them in kind. So, good luck dealing with that, Chris, because you know what? Considering you have to, you know, beg for money at this point, you've got to understand, Chris, is that is going to reflect on whether or not you're worth investing into, Chris. You may want to bear that in mind, because you're giving me permission right there to talk about you to whatever degree I see fit, for better or worse. Good job, Chris. That's all I can say.
She felt paranoid about people trying to trick her into doing things, reflecting on the interview sessions she had with YouTuber Bravery Jerk, who had promised her the use of a 3D printer but failed to deliver, which caused her a lot of emotional pain. On November 30th, she shared a YouTube animation from Doopy Do-Over, a voice actress and animator working for the collective of YouTube channels known as Planet Dolan, concerning the fan support platform Patreon. Chris stated that she was hesitant to start up a Patreon to receive extra funds from fans because she was unable to offer additional gifts and previews in return. Later that day, she updated her followers that her mother had to pawn off her 14-karat gold necklace in a pawn shop for $325, which she was hoping would help the family pay off their mortgage. In response, Christine decided that she would ultimately try to set up a Patreon account to hopefully buy back her mother's necklace or to pay the mortgage in full. She then made a formal announcement on her YouTube channel.
To try to help out with finances here at home, I have set up a Patreon account, which there will be a link in the description below.
We will go to Patreon before this video is out, because I want to show you guys something very, very interesting.
And here's the icon, and well, let the light shine through it. I can't help the reflective way it goes backwards. So anyway, the big goal is to $250,000 pay off the mortgage, all our debts and whatnot, so then I can feel the whole financial weight lifted off my head so that I can quick as I can recover from that strife, because that has been a major burden around here. My mother keeps bothering me about it. There's a lot of...
Because Chris, you need $250,000. Motherfucker.
It's my fault, yada yada yada. Anyway, on Patreon, everybody who donates can request a video, and also will be allowed to add me onto their Skype. And the larger the donations, the quicker we can get to the goal, the faster I'll be able to feel creative again and actually be able to do better on gifts toward everybody, because I can't offer much for right now. I'm serious about that. And that's regardless of everything that is surrounding me in my background here.
You mean regardless of the things you recklessly spent when you don't have the money?
Within a few days, she had 5 patrons, contributing a total of $110 per month. However, her earnings quickly dropped down to $60 per month. Also in the final days of November, she updated her 2016 Christmas wish list to remove 2 Transformers figurines, which she received in the mail, leaving her phrasing vague so that it was unclear whether they were bought by a fan or by herself. She then showcased them in a YouTube video uploaded that same day.
But anyway, I'm doing this video because I've heard on the radio earlier about how successful the Ice Bucket Challenge was. And regardless of how everybody is getting a new challenge where they might still be dumping very cold water from buckets on their heads, and also more recently I've heard getting backpacks thrown upon them by crowds or standing still to be mannequins. Oh, we're gonna do something different today. It's inspired and brought to you by MGO 316, I think. The link to his channel will be in the description below this video, as well as BigBadToyStore.com. I have just received this in the mail today from a very nice gift, and the theme that I liked since the Alpha Trion video is the fun advice that MGO did the voice for Alpha Trion. There's one example that I remember fairly well because I like that video from the Soundwave video. Hear me now and understand me tomorrow. When the gerbil retreats into its bunghole, the moon shall fall into a vat of tapioca. And then Megatron says, "You know what's weird? That sounds... You know what's weird? I understood that. That made sense to me." It would. What's that supposed to mean?
Did someone leave the front door open again?
Anyway, so from there, the old theme of Young Warrior has been around since.
What is this
I'm
video?
issuing a new challenge.
Oh,
You
here
got see how long everybody can go. Go on saying that. You can call it the Alpha Trion Challenge, or it can be also known as the Young Warrior Challenge. Young Warrior.
Well, there you are. That's I reckon no one did this challenge, because if this is anything to go by, it would be crediting and enabling somebody who was absolutely crazy.
And I'm starting this challenge to help out with the Patreon, to help out with our financial homes here. Anyway, Young Warrior. I love that line. Hear me now and understand me tomorrow. That's definitely reflective true.
2 days later, Chris made another video attempting to explain how to accomplish her recently created challenge, upon reading that some fans did not understand the reasoning behind the challenge.
The challenge is starting off with, and you want to do this live from your own voice. Live.
No, from your friend's voice. The fuck are you talking?
recording. You don't want to. Do not do a previous recording that just goes on and on and on and on and on, and no video edits. That's part of the challenge. But anyway, the joke was, as Emgo put it, he said, "Yo, warrior." So starting off, the first thing you do, you say "young warrior" and you go long on the O, as long as you are able to in one breath. And after that, you speak to the camera some sound advice of which you might have thought of yourself or heard from your parents or your grandparents or other relatives or friends.
Chris, you're really, really bad at explaining things. Just tell them what this is about. I don't get this video, Chris. I do not understand what you're talking about. I don't understand what you're hoping to gain out of this challenge. I do not understand why you're not just giving people what they want on Patreon because you desperately need $250,000. I don't understand how this is going to help you, Chris. Stop it.
Yada yada yada. And on a more serious note, me, Hillary Clinton. This was Trump and Pence.
Oh, God's sake, he's doing it.
Seriously though, Trump, Pence, Donald Trump and Pence, advocate the office and let Hillary Clinton take it. Or else a lot of Americans, including myself, are still gonna pray for your debts to happen before January. So America and you will definitely be a lot better off having Hillary for president. So advocate the office, Trump. Advocate the position. And then maybe I'll take it down off of that noose. Trump, not my president. Hillary, our president. Yay! Wonder Woman! Thank you and have a good day. And look forward to another video of fun and hilarity in a few weeks or less.
Well, it's thoroughly... Guys, hang on. I just realised it. I realised what I was missing out on. That I gave Chris any credit at all whatsoever for literally anything. That's what I feel ashamed at having given Chris any sort of credit at all. Because I don't. Not anymore. Good job, Chris. You really, really went out of your way to do that. Sorry, where were we?
On December 8th, Christine posted a picture of herself looking tired on Facebook and commented on how tired she looked. On the 9th, she shared a Facebook video about missing one's mother during the Christmas season and wrote that she missed her father every day, thinking that he was enjoying his Christmas in his new life. On December 10th, a new episode of the animated series Sonic Boom, titled The Biggest Fan, featured a character called Mark the Taper, an obsessive fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. It officially is meant to lampoon the more obsessive traits of the Sonic fandom, but also many persons interested in Chris felt that he bore a striking resemblance to Chris Chan. Similarities included a hairstyle and glasses combination, similar to Chris's previous appearance.
It really does look like... Oh my god. Oh my god.
A noted overweightness, a hinted unwillingness to accept Sonic's blue arms, and a possible fondness for orange soda. 2 days later, Christine watched the episode after hearing rumors that Mark the Taper was meant to represent her. She noted that despite the arm color reference, the common fat, glasses, and hair, there was no resemblance between her and Mark, highlighting that she was not mental or crazy like the character. Also on that day, Chris wrote that the family had briefly lost their newest cat, Sorbet. After searching the house, she found that Sorbet had gotten trapped in Chris's old room after her mother, Barbara, had come in there to check on the thermostat and closed the door, leaving Sorbet behind. On December 17th, Chris posted a paid birthday greeting on YouTube.
Hey there, everybody. Christine Chandler coming live from home once again. And by pay request, here's a birthday dedication.
That poor cat.
Happy birthday, Ricky. You are turned 32 on the 20th. So good for you. And I don't know.
Congratulations, you turned 32. I couldn't give a fuck. Chris, you're getting paid for this. At least try and put some effort into this. Please. Mate, I'm trying my best to tolerate you. I really, really am. Please Chris, give us something.
34 year? Earlier. Anyway, so, I don't know. Here's a little song and that's happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, I'm using a selfie stick.
Oh,
Whoopie-doo, random thing, random. Whoops.
Oh,
Honey cat.
this-
It's Sorbet. Hello.
Hey,
How you doing?
you fucking hit Sorbet. How the fuck could you... Okay, I just had to shake that off. I fucking hate it when people hurt animals. I really, really, oh my goodness, fuck me, I fangirls that. I thought I was about to I wouldn't be screaming young warrior, I'd be screaming something else in a second. Whoa, oh my goodness, sorry about that.
Okay, so, yes. Happy birthday, Ricky. Hope you have a safe and pleasant one. And please forgive the brightness all around. There's a light there. The light's on up there. Well, you gotta be able to see me. Well, have a good day, everyone.
2 days later, Christine posted on Facebook that her mother intended on selling the family's lawn mowing tractor for $595 after being used only a few times. On the 22nd, she posted that she felt a burning sensation in her sinus and commented that if one were to lead a too stressful life, they would leave themselves open to a viral infection.
Fuck off, Chris. Fuck off.
Not long after, she commented that she would likely only have sparse sleep spurts during that night. On Christmas Eve,
Actually, that is a good point, because people have pointed out, because of Chris's health and his goodness knows if he suffers from diabetes or not or anything like that, then this could people led to believe that Chris is having mini strokes, which are obvious, which affect could cause his very strange speaking mannerisms to change. That's sort of where this theory came from, is that Chris is suffering from strokes. This is not confirmed, but we know somebody as unhealthy as Chris cannot have just things slowness of thought wrong with them. I don't want to say autism because it's not a mental illness or anything like that.
Christine reflected that she used to know where everything was located in her house, but since the fire and renovation, every item had been relocated, and now did not concretely know what she even still had at home. Furthermore, she felt that she had more freedom when her father was alive, and now in his absence, she had to take care of the deeds which used to be done by him. Finally, she wrote that one could only escape into their mental depths and recluse for so long before they would eventually be pulled back into reality, where so many things...
Yeah, back to reality, pretty much anybody who is remotely responsible. I'm not going to try and make too much a thing out about this, because, let's face it, Chris never stood a chance. Even with any kind of formal knowledge about what things have to be done, there was no chance Chris would ever be able to live normally. I know I'm just saying it as it is. I'm not mocking him or anything like that. It's just we know we all know.
Things are yet to be done. On Christmas Day, Chris posted a short clip of her cat, Sorbet, playing with a toy robot.
Why don't you just give him a ball? What if he bites something off and chokes?
On December 27th, Chris made a long post regarding her past experiences with internet trolls and reflected whether she wanted the Quickie, the encyclopedic website detailing all of her actions, to be taken down. On one hand, she commented that the Quickie kept Christine and her Sonichu characters in the public spotlight and encouraged conversation related to her worldwide. But on the other hand, they continued to deface her in a derogative manner, discussing her past misevents, encouraged by haters from before 2011, when he was more naive. However, as the Quickie forums and later Kiwi forums came into fruition, trolls got an outlet to discuss her freely without consequence, and so thought that the Quickie had less of a reason to exist anymore. As a final addition, Christine wrote that with the closing down of the Quickie, she would finally reacquire the Sonichu.com domain, which would allow her to use it for her official Sonichu projects. 2 days later, in response to an article on Facebook regarding a possible anti-LGBTQ act to be signed by President-elect Donald Trump, Chris wrote a puzzler for his consideration. She wrote that if there was an alternate reality or dimension where every person on this planet was of the opposite gender, and that the B...
Oh no. Oh yeah, that's right. I don't want to spoil anything, but at the end of the year 2017 is when you're going to be hearing the word dimension brought up quite a lot.
in LGBTQ instead represented heterosexuality. Would Trump allow his female counterpart in that other universe to sign an anti-straight law? If he answered no, then Trump would have no reason to pass the anti-LGBTQ law in this dimension. However, if he said yes, then he would be branded a self-loathing person who would allow a law to be passed which discriminated against himself. Chris told him to advocate the office and let Hillary Clinton take over, or die from his own or someone else's hand.
How many times has Chris asked for Trump to die now? I think that's at least 5 times he's asked Trump to die. What?
She also wrote a short comment on the article in which she ordered Trump to advocate the office or die.
6 times now.
On the 30th, Christine made a YouTube video advertising the Z-Ring, an accessory item made to function together with the game Pokemon Sun and Moon.
And over the Christmas holiday, I've managed to get myself my own Z-Ring bracelet. And of course, before the month came in, I had traded many games, got my copies of Pokemon Sun and Moon. Of course, y'all know from everybody on the internet what this thing does with Pokemon Sun and Moon, which I'm going to demonstrate for you in a little bit. My favorite with my female Primarina Ariel. Anyway, so yeah, you know what it does. Yeah. I love it because it's so musical. Musical energy rockin'.
I generally don't know that. Like X and Y was the last real Pokemon game I actually really played, so I wouldn't know much about Sun and Moon.
And then I knocked myself over. Oh well. Anyway. Thank you and have a good day.
On January 2nd, 2017, Christine wished her Facebook followers a Happy New Year. 2 days later, she wrote that she had finished reading the anthology comic book Love is Love, dedicated to the victims of the shooting that took place at Pulse, a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, in June 2016. She shared some of her favorite pages from the comic and thought that it could serve as a teaching tool. On the 9th, she expressed her annoyance upon being told that she could not donate blood because transgender people were not allowed to do so on the count of their varying balances of estrogen and testosterone in their blood. Chris complained that no one had 100% perfect blood, and that she would be sending a complaint to the Food and Drug Administration.
So Chris ignoring science again, and just deciding that just because somebody said no to her, that means that she is going to be utterly... Chris, come on, think about this. Also, if you were your blood sugar levels are already far too high anyway, considering what you eat. There was no chance you were gonna have. Let's be honest.
On January 12th, Chris posted a video made in the style of YouTuber MGO316, reviewing her 3D printed figurine for the game Skylanders, made in her own likeness.
Wow. I never thought Christine could look more pretty. What do you think, Rosie? Oh yes, I quite like it very much. Yeah, I didn't think she could look much better. Except for... Is she wearing goggles? Oh, look at the picture. She's not wearing goggles. Those are her glasses. Look a bit thick. Oh well, what can you do? Somebody else made this thing.
She then shows off extensive gameplay of her character in action. The next day, she posted a new paid YouTube video.
Okay, anyway, so to Fran, James wants you to know that he loves you very much and that James will get you to have dinner with him. He calls that a personal joke. I don't care. That's between you and him. Whatever. Anyway, congratulations very much on your anniversary. Keep it on going very well. Okay, and then a little bonus, actually. A kind of a new song, but based off of a regular song. But I think it very works. And inspired by Love is Love. Okay? What is love? Love, love, love is love, love, love. And you have a lot of it. You're a cut above. What is love? Love is love. When you have a lot of it, that's a lot of love. And when you have it, you're a cut above. What is love? Love, love, love is love, love, love. When you have a lot of it, you're a cut above. What is love? Love is love. Okie dokie. Happy anniversary, Fran and James.
There is actually a video I kind of like wanted to pull out. I might do it near the end because there's a comparison I kind of like wanted to make to what Chris just did. But I'll wait for now.
Karen, be safe.
2 days later, Christine shared the lyrics of her song on Facebook, along with a photo of her My Little Pony figure of Vinyl Scratch, seemingly kissing the figurine customized to look like Chris herself. Also on that day, she claimed that she would not be watching the upcoming inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. She added that she had recently watched the movie Suicide Squad, focusing on characters from the DC Comics universe, to which the superheroes Batman and Robin also belonged. She reflected that in the comic Love is Love, which she had recently read, Batman and Robin considered that the LGBTQ community were, like themselves, different from the rest of society. Therefore, she felt that their city, Gotham, was pro-LGBTQ and would rather Bruce Wayne, or Batman, be the millionaire president rather than Trump, because he was more kind and understanding.
Fictional characters, Chris. They're fictional. Also, wasn't like Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, and Batwoman supposed to be gay in the in like the Batman comics now? I think it was something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've like read DC comics and stuff like that. But I think that is supposed to be one of the more accepted things that have happened in the comics.
To the community. On the 19th, someone texted Chris asking if she would consider discussing her thoughts about the upcoming handheld game console, the Nintendo Switch, to which she replied that she had no thoughts because she was preoccupied. On January 20th, the date of Donald Trump's inauguration, Christine made a video announcing
Why is the music? It's only just occurred to me, but what's this music building up to?
that in her opinion, the US had no president or vice president.
People of YouTube and around the world, the bad news has come in. The unnamed elect has been sworn in, along with his cohort, who is filling the vice presidential condition. And as far as I am concerned, I hereby state that as long as Pence and Trump are in the White House whatsoever on this note, I do not validate, I do not entertain, and I do not acknowledge either of them at all as president and vice president. We have lewd Decepticon perpetrators in the seats. And as I do not acknowledge either of them in the White House, I hereby decree this country has no president. I repeat, as long as Trump and Pence are in the office, this country does not have a president or vice president, period. And we will have to wait 4 years with a vacant seat in the presidential White House. This is indeed a very sad day for this country. And that is how I feel about it, and it will not be changed until Trump leaves the White House and takes Pence with him, or at this point, when they are both deceased. And then we can actually have Hillary Clinton in office, and this country would be a whole lot better.
I hope to God, based on what's going to come up next, Chris in some way or form gets reprimanded again, because there is no... Let's just see how this plays out. I hope to God there is some consequence.
She also made several tweets addressing the president and vice president directly, writing with the same sentiment as her video. Also on the 20th, editor for the right-wing news and commentary website Breitbart, Milo Yiannopoulos, delivered a speech at the University of Washington in an event titled "Cyberbullying Isn't Real." During the presentation, he briefly featured a photo of Chris.
When George Bush Sr. ran for president, they called him a wimp. He was a fighter pilot and head of the CIA. What will happen when we have the first presidential campaign featuring genderqueer furries with videos of themselves crying on YouTube because someone insulted their My Little Pony drawings? We know, don't we, what the first social justice president will look like? If this keeps up, your future commander-in-chief may have a history of sexually abusing theirself to gay Harry Potter fan fiction.
On January 22nd, inspired by an article posted on Elephant Journal, Christine wrote a lengthy letter offering some advice and words of wisdom to President Trump's young son, Barron.
Oh God, now what?
To young Mr. Barron Trump, I, for one, feel for you as a victim of cyberbullying and internet trolling myself. I, too, have been emotionally and mentally broken, beaten, and scarred, especially during the early years when I tried to self-manage my web presence with my own websites of my Sonichu and Roastu character. Google me. I have been past disgraced and deceived by those bullies who pretend to be of good intentions. I have later better learned to ignore their hatred and not respond or address their individual cruel words. And I have the option in my phone, email, Facebook, etc. to program their contact info into a single trolling stupids contact list and block the lot of them. But, fortunately, out of the number of people worldwide, the haters are but a small percentage, and of a large percentage are
There may be a small percentage, but you sure seem to focus a lot on them, Chris.
a vast community of people who are more open-hearted and kind, as I can and do personally vouch for, as I have met these people face to face. And it may surprise you to know what community of people is this, who are able to keep open minds and open hearts for everyone despite an encounter of the people who hate. These are the people of, and the supporters of, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender/transvestite, and queer, the LGBTQ communities. And I, myself, am a lesbian trans woman. No shame, and I wear the person that I am with pride and honor. There was a time before I realized mine being a female soul trapped in a male-born body when I was homophobic. But I became better aware of these kind and open-hearted people and learned how understanding and compassionate they are. And with that, losing the homophobia, I felt more at peace with myself and those around me. I pray you have been finding at least an ounce of is the such same kindness from your father, as well as those closest to you. And I, personally, extend such kindness as I type this letter to you, Barron, by sharing some wisdom and experience to help you be able to better cope the hatred from others by countering them with open-hearted kindness and understanding. Thank you for listening, Baron, and God bless you. Sincerely, Miss Christine Weston Chandler, Ruckersville, Virginia, USA. On the 27th, Christine changed her Facebook profile photo to her past one with a filter of the French flag overlaid, made to commemorate the November 2015 terrorist attacks in France, because she could not accept Trump as the President of the United States. She wished that Hillary Clinton could become president so that the...
I was just about to say, you know what? Chris sending his, making his letter to Baron Trump seemed a little bit self-inducive, but I felt, honestly, in Chris's own way, it was the only way he could try to make his point known and try to, extend the bridge. He tried to say it in his own way, I suppose. But just like the thing about that missing your mom card, and it was about his father. Now, why is he just... He says he's going for, the French flag and that, but he's got an American flag in his background anyway. Chris, I know you've heard me say this before, but think about your actions. Think about what you're doing. Because I can't even begin to mention if you have or ever will.
The growing hatred caused by Trump could be undone, and that the loving people from the United States and all over the world could come together. On February 2nd, Chris posted that if people use perfume or cologne, that meant that they were used to the scent of a skunk, since skunk essence was often used in fragrance products. 5 days later, she announced that Quickville, Virginia was a sanctuary city that welcomed Muslims and immigrants with open arms, in response to the developing situation in the US at the time. The heroes of the town, Sonichu, Rosechu, and the other Sonichus, also helped to defend the city against SWAT teams and Secret Service agents by reading people's minds and stopping their actions when bad intentions or thoughts were spotted. On February 8th, Christine wrote that she was thankful for all the public schools she had attended and also for all the friends she made during that time, despite a handful of them later turning on her. In a reply to her post, Chris named 4 of her former friends: Joshua Martinez, Kelly Andes, Tiffany Gowan, and Sarah Bevel in hashtag form, and announced that the only way she could forgive them for the recent deeds was if they took a few minutes out of their busy lives to apologize to her so they could be friends again. On February 10th, Christine took part in the yearly Love is Love campaign at the University of Virginia in support of the LGBTQ community. The event mostly consisted of people wearing red t-shirts branded with Love is Love and singing the good old song, the anthem of the university. After the event, she went to see the new Lego Batman movie with a friend. Also at around that time, Chris purchased the Lego Batman movie story pack set of levels for the Lego Dimensions game on PS4, costing between $35 and $50. On February 12th, Chris shared the cover photo used on her former friend Megan Schroeder's Facebook account. Chris's Trostman gal pal, Kim Wilson, commented that it was great that the two were friends again. Chris corrected her, saying that they were not Facebook friends and was merely looking through friend requests she had sent and felt that her cover photo was cute. She deleted the post the next day. On Valentine's Day, she shared a recipe for chocolate butterbeer after having made it herself. The next day, she announced that she was feeling the symptoms of a possible cold virus, namely a scratchy throat and coughs with mild chest pain, in addition to a dizzy feeling and significant vertigo. On the 16th, Chris uploaded a video on YouTube in which she asks for monetary donations and then features a week's-old clip of her touring a playground from his childhood.
Got cold. It's hit my throat, my voice. Anyway, our bank accounts here are really low, so we could really use some money. Please help us. Just send kind donations, more than $10 a piece.
Just listening to his voice, it makes you wonder that for all his Facebook posts, all the shit he's been chatting up is now starting to, do something to his throat.
Via PayPal to my phone number. Over PayPal. PayPal. And now for something completely different I've done a few weeks ago. is a recording of me at one of my favorite past childhood parks. Hello everybody, this is Christine Chandler coming to you live from Harrisonburg, Virginia. And today we're doing something a bit different. I'm exploring to being a little nostalgic. My father took me here X number of times, over a whole lot of times, and this is my first time I've actually been here in so many years. So we're just going to take a look around and take in the reminiscence. Whew. I don't know why it's so smelly around here. I guess people tend to walk their pets around here.
Well, that could be one thing.
Okay, well, anyway, we're just taking a look around. I remember so many memories I used to have right here. I mean, look at it, even from the outside perspective, it looks quite a castle. It looks like they might have changed it now. I'm mistaken, but yeah. Stood on this thing and it just swung around side by side. There's a little pretend vehicle. Go right through that tunnel from one side to the other. This thing was quite a maze. Any child, about half my head height of 5'11" or less, could definitely enjoy all the amazing things. Got so many ins and outs. You can climb everywhere. You get yourself lost in all these things. It was fun for me.
It does kind of look like a nice place, I'll give it that much.
Sorry about that, folks. I got interrupted with a phone call. Anyway, yeah, this was Purcell Park. I'm just gonna hang out here a little while longer before I make my way up to my destination. Christine Chandler, wishing y'all a very good day, and enjoy your childhood memories while you are young, and enjoy them when you reminisce when you're older. Thank you.
Also on that day, in a Facebook discussion which featured some of Christine's online friends talking about time zones and jokingly referencing the racist ways of many Americans, Chris commented that she wished to go back in time to September 5th, 2011, so that she could stop hospital staff from supposedly making a loud noise, which killed her father. She again restated that there was more freedom when Bob was alive.
I thought he died on the 6th.
On February 26th, Chris posted a photo of an orange peel and called it an orange ghost. On March 1st, Christine announced that she intended to sell her father's stamp collection through eBay, claiming that the stamps had only increased in value over the years. She also made a YouTube video advertising the items.
From lots and lots of stamp covers to everything in organized chaos between 6 boxes. Which from amongst the late Mr. Robert Franklin Chandler's Jr. stamp collection will you claim for yourself, if not the entire collection? I am Miss Christine Chandler, and I'm selling Mr. C's stamp collection to try to get more money around here to help pay the bills and everything. Let's try to meet the goals, the high goals. So come on down to my stamp shop on eBay, or, well, my regular shop, but I'm selling stamps. It's gonna be a while selling it all. So come on down, buy what you like out of the collection.
Her Facebook friend, William Elliott Waterman, criticized her for selling her father's possessions that he cared about, instead of selling off any of her own or her mother's things. Chris continued to list more stamps on eBay, selling sets at around $2 to $5 each. Most were vintage items commemorating the United Nations. In the first couple of days, Chris made $68 in profits from selling her father's stamps. On March 2nd, she purchased some Transformers and Lego-related merchandise, totaling $50.25, including shipping. On the 3rd, Chris listed her own stamp collection book for sale, which she received when he was 10 years old. It was signed on the title page by Christopher Weston Chandler and dated to 1992. It contained over 100 stamps and was posted up for sale on eBay for $1,000. At around this time, Christine became more active on the social media site Twitter, making numerous replies to tweets posted by notable voice actress Tara Strong, responding to her vows to stand up to bullying and her criticisms of President Trump.
Oh, for God's sake.
Chris also began replying to tweets from Doopy Do-Over from Planet Dolan. On March 7th, Doopie posted about her struggles with bipolar disorder. Chris replied that she did not have BPD, but could still empathize with her difficulty in understanding people, especially hurtful trolls. She further wrote that she tried to put the people that hurt her aside and tried to keep an open mind and heart to maintain a positive outlook. As Christine stated, she tried her best to forget about the actions of trolls and cyberbullies of the past and made efforts to form new bonds and possible friendships. However, she had trouble in understanding how she could be perceived by others and what were the appropriate actions one should make in starting new relationships, which only increased the chance of more misunderstandings and more heartbreaks.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to do it for part 53. Now, despite everything, I will be honest in saying that maybe that is probably the part that makes more sense when in all things considered. Like, it's pretty obvious that Chris is, you know, his autism is obviously going to flare up anytime he's involved in anything social at all. But the problem is that whether or not this is a thing he could ever like learn from, or whether or not he's ever thought about courses in that so he could actually be cured of it. I mean, he claims to have been cured of autism, but I don't particularly think he's going to fall back on that anytime soon. All I hope for at this point is just that Chris learns to at least understand exactly where he's going wrong, because again, there's no filter to what Chris says. It's all said at once, and he can get away with it just so long as he never has to apologize. One of the things in particular is Doopie Do-Over, and I generally did not know that she had bipolar disorder, and I feel very sorry for her. But what you're going to see what Chris does is that anything Doopie says, Chris will turn it onto himself and talk about himself all the more to extract more sympathy. We saw he's done this before, but what you have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that Chris's concept of reality is a very fragile one. He simply does not seem to understand a lot of things about why things are the way they are. And considering what we're going to be talking about in part 55, because I think part 54 is talking about mostly the things that happened, the more extreme versions that happened in the financial crisis, but part 55, because I'm guessing that is when we get to the end of the year 2017, and when the Cult of the Idea Guy saga begins, which transformed Chris's life even further. But with all that being said and done, because that's going to be a while anyway, I hope everybody has enjoyed this reaction video, and I will hope to see all of you guys again in the next video. Take care, bye-bye for now.